Top five, top five, top five.
So then I'll go back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 James Cameron movies in honor of Avatar 2 Way of Water. He'll tell you about the top 5, then we'll get on into it.
He's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3-2, 3-2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means that we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher. They say Zemeckis, and then we just talk about it once because it saves time.
This motherfucker loves water. I went through his IMDb. Titanic's about water. The Abyss is about water.
Piranha.
Avatar 2, Way of Water. Piranha 2, water. 2 water documentaries. Why does he like water so much?
Why?
He's fascinated, I guess.
Terminator 2, he gets drowned in a liquid substance with his thumb up.
That's a reach.
I'll take it where I can. But motherfucker loves water. So, I don't know, does he write movies in his bathtub? Does he have a ginormous bathtub? I don't know, probably so. He's rich. But number 5 for me is surprisingly Aliens.
Huh.
Oh, no.
Well, okay, I guess that's technically a Zemeckis.
Technically it's Zemeckis, okay.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me is surprisingly Titanic.
That's my number 4 as well. Yeah.
I watched this movie for the first time.
What?
And I was like, I probably... Because, like, it's so, like, publicized as being, like, a great movie. And I'm like...
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
And, like, that is the greatness of Titanic.
Yeah. So I just assumed, I was like, people have it like an 8.5, 9. I'll probably have it like a 7.5, right? In my head.
Yeah.
That's my perception
That's
of
about
it.
what I would give it.
That was my perception of it. And I was just like, I don't really need to see this movie. But I needed a 5th James Cameron movie. And I was not watching Avatar. That movie sucks. And I wasn't watching Piranha 2. I just assumed that movie sucks. So I watched Titanic and absolutely loved it. Like, I would give it
it's a good movie.
I would give it an 8.5 personally. I liked it that much.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Like, it had me a little waterworky when the eyeballs. He does such a good job of establishing these people on this boat are dying.
Yeah.
And these are humans and it means something.
Yeah.
Where you look at something like San Andreas or where people are just falling out of buildings and dying and shit, where it means nothing.
Right.
Like, everything in that movie means something. And does such a good balancing job of the love story and the Titanic story. And the 84 years ago, that retelling of the story as well. There's a couple things in it that time hasn't been kind to it. Or maybe I just watched it on a 4K player on a 4K TV and it just didn't look too good.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to... That's when I probably should upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have a 4K of it. I would assume they do.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Such a good movie. Mm-hmm. The magicalness of it from the fucking beginning, where I was just like saw all those extras, and I was just smiling because my heart got warm because I'm like, that's what movie making is.
Yeah.
Not the CGI bullshit where you just take the CGI the crowd in. Like even fucking Forrest Gump, they CGI'd the crowd in, but they literally took the crowd, move over in the football stadium, go here, and filmed it like that, you know? Like, those are real people still, and not just, like, random motherfuckers a computer makes.
Yeah.
But the love story and everything is pretty basic, but it's enough there, and, like, good filmmaking to, like, bust out A tier for a cinephile, a big moviegoer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I appreciate it for that. And the ending really got me. Where, like, she goes to sleep, and then she, like, the light comes, and she walks onto the Titanic, and Jack turns around. I was like, oh, no wonder. I understand why people cry.
Yeah, but, so, when people talk about the end of the Titanic, most people talk about, like, the actual, like, water scene where he drowns. But the actual ending of Titanic is very good. Like, that's the best part.
It's so beautiful.
And I feel like people don't talk about that nearly as much, and they just want to focus on what could 2 people have fit on the board or like.
And I had such a problem with that because clearly clearly James Cameron made that bitch sink, and then you see Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's just like, there's this like moment of him just coming to realization he's not going to fit on this, and he's going to die.
Or if they do get on it, it's going to push it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That, like, he has that moment of realization when he tries to jump on it with her, but instead he just pushes her all the way on. And that gives us that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I was one of those guys. I'll see a picture, they could both fit on that. Like, he's not a big dude.
Yeah.
But seeing the film and seeing those little details in there, they both would have been dead.
Right.
So, fuck that argument.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah.
Like, I was surprised how much I love this movie.
Yeah, Titanic is like, it's exactly, Titanic is everything that we love about movies. Yeah. It is filmed like a movie should be filmed. It is written like a movie should be written. The story is told like how a story should be told in a movie. It looks like a movie. It feels like a movie. They didn't try to be super realistic. They didn't try to make you feel like, you know, anything. It was like, this is a made-up story based on a real thing that happened, and like, I'm gonna manipulate your emotions and make you feel things, which is why we go to movies, to let that happen.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's an excellent movie. It really is.
Like,
but
if you had to like show someone what film was in America in our time period growing up, I'm picking this and Forrest Gump. Those are the two most American movies. Like, obviously there are better movies that Americans made, but around the 90s, you're not getting any better films that say America than these two.
Yeah, and both like cultural phenomena.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
like,
real.
you know, so.
But that's my 4.
Yeah.
Our 4.
Right. So I've only seen, turns out, 5 James Cameron directed movies. So those are the 5 on my list. So my number 5 is Avatar.
Wait, we did a list or something or another, and you had True Lies on your list.
Yeah, I probably was just bullshitting.
What a prick.
The amount of times that I've done that throughout the, like, 3 years that we've done this, 4 years that we've done this, is like a lot.
Like, but like, you shitted on it and made it seem like it was only on there. Because I remember it was the American remakes of foreign films. And we were talking about the best ones.
Yeah, I probably like read an article or watched a Watch Mojo list and like stole.
You shitted on
I probably just stole their ideas.
And like, that's like critically well received. Like, that's a well received movie around the board.
I also probably
and
just
Schwarzenegger.
There's also a huge chance.
Bastard.
There's also probably a huge chance that I shit on it because it was Schwarzenegger, and I don't think that he is as great as a lot of people like to make him sound
fantastic.
like. You just have a nostalgic connection to him. That doesn't make him fantastic.
He's my second favorite actor of all time.
I have a nostalgic connection to Home Alone 3, and you know what? It's a bad movie. Like, so it is what it is. Anyways, I have not actually seen True Lies. Now you know something you did not know before. Congratulations. So number 5, Avatar. I don't think
I remember. I'm so mad right now. I remember you said True Lies, and I said Zemeckis, and I said, I understand why it's low on your list, but I'm so happy you've seen it.
Yeah.
You fucking
I had seen it.
the deceiving little weasel you are.
Can be.
You're a weasel.
Only
Nate the weasel.
Only to you though.
If we do an animated show, or ever have like an animated thing, you're being a weasel.
I prefer a fox.
I'll be a fox. You be a weasel.
No, you can't be a fox.
I'll be a fox.
You look way more like a weasel than
I'll be a turtle.
Why?
Because I like Ninja Turtles.
Random!
Anyways, Avatar. It's not as bad as he says it is. It's not great either. Like, it was a spectacle. It was a cult. I think that James Cameron is just really good at James Cameron is just really good at making like cultural phenomenon movies. Which like maybe that's why he only makes a movie like every 10 or 15 years or whatever, except for like in the beginning.
Mine's The Abyss and his first two, like all of his films are considered classics.
Except True Lies.
Yeah.
But because whether it's critically well received or not, nobody is talking about that as a classic.
Yeah. That's fair.
And even Avatar, it's like a lot of people shit on it, but like, guess what? how 10 years later, however many years
that
later,
money, dude.
we're still talking about it. And it's not because it's not just
money.
because the sequel's coming out. Like, people just still talk about that movie because people remember going to see it in theaters. People remember the hype leading up to it. Like, whatever marketing team this dude has working on his movies, they're really good at their jobs. But yeah, Avatar was pretty, and love the earth and shit. It's like even back then I was absolutely on this movie is literally Fern Gully, just made in a different way. But it's not that bad, and I had a lot of fun watching it when it came out, and I had a lot of fun talking to people when it came out, and I've had a lot of fun talking about it throughout the years, and I want to go see the sequel, and I don't really have any majorly high expectations for it.
Are you gonna watch the first one before the sequel?
Yeah, I think I am gonna rewatch it. I haven't rewatched it in probably 8 years, so I'm gonna give it a rewatch.
Interessante.
And then my number 4 is Titanic.
Number 3 for me is True Lies. Schwarzenegger
That movie sucks.
is fucking incredible. He's a renaissance man of cinema.
Woof.
He's a pure artiste.
Okay.
Like,
He's a one-trick pony.
he's a fucking... He's not a one-trick pony.
I'm the strong man with the cool voice.
No. Get the fuck out of here. He is
The most...
a sculpture of a man.
Well, that's true.
He is impeccable. And you put him in a comedy and he strives. And this is a action comedy where his wife doesn't know he's a secret agent. And it's played so smart because James Cameron does put times in his script. He puts, is this logical? No, well, I'm not going to put it in my script. So everything's logical. And she doesn't seem like the dumb housewife who just, oh my God, I can't believe these signs were here. And my husband, like, there's good reason why she doesn't believe. And that's part of the agency's job. The agency helps make sure his wife thinks he works in whatever he does.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis, she plays her part so fucking well as too, and her getting mixed up into it, it just becomes a very fun action movie with Schwarzenegger doing what he does best, kicking ass, saying one-liners, and I love it. He shoots a missile at somebody and says, "You fired." The guy's hanging off the missile,
Yeah.
and he fires the missile and says, "You're fired."
Like I said, one-trick.
Hitchcock,
Oh, don't.
Stewart, and then you got James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Acting director combos of all time, top 2.
That is absurd. that is a take that you very clearly just fabricated to try to piss me off. But
Number 2 is another fantastic. Is the acting combo again? It's Terminator, the first one.
that's my number 2.
Absolutely incredible story. I'm looking at the poster of it right now, and I'm just looking at all the things on there to make that a great movie.
Too much red.
You got Schwarzenegger
In the poster.
being intimidating as fuck. You got Michael Biehn being that man with desire, the need. He's fighting for something more important. And then you, fuck, I forgot her last name. Hamilton something.
Linda?
Yeah, Linda Hamilton is like that scared 20-something-year-old who's like just trying to survive this crazy situation she's been thrown in. Just got levels of depth in it that are surprising for a basic slasher movie, because that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking slasher movie similar to Alien, which we're talking about Aliens soon, but top to bottom, near perfect movie. And the reason why I have it behind at number 2 is because not CGI, because it's all real. The makeup effects aren't the best. Like the scene where Terminator has his face fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's trying to fix it, and it's not good. When I watched it originally, it was fantastic, and it was like, oh my God, it's a robot. Like, so good, so suspenseful. The investment helps with the suspense. Perfect how you balance the two and make sure you have investment with the suspense instead of it just being very suspenseful. like Barbarian, for instance. Very fucking suspenseful. One of the most suspenseful movies I've seen this year. I don't give a fuck about them characters.
Yeah.
Not a goddamn one of them. Not one of them was interesting enough for me to remember their names or nothing. This one, it balances both incredibly well. Action is also in there and it's very well. Memorable lines, more memorable scenes. Everything I love about movies is in that movie.
Yeah. Terminator is like on the list of movies that my dad let me watch when I was really young that he probably shouldn't have.
Go Stan.
And to be honest with you, people talk about stuff like that a lot. I don't think it really has that kind of negative effect on kids. I think we baby them too much. As long as it's not going to cause a massive argument with my wife if we have kids, I'm absolutely going to let them watch some stuff that a lot of other parents would probably be like, that's too violent or that's too scary or whatever, right?
Is she on the pill?
Huh?
Is she on the pill?
Yes, but...
Oh, never mind then. Maybe not.
Yeah, kids are not in the plan right now,
Yeah.
but, like, if it happened...
I remember early 20s, Nate. You still got that horny fucker in you somewhere.
What?
I think you're doing enough to pop out a kid.
So...
I mean, he's such a great uncle. Uncle Wang.
They're not going to call you that. Absolutely not.
Whack.
Terminator, watched it when I was a kid. It was, like, captivating. I mean, it was intense. Like, it didn't scare me, but it was intense, right? And I was drawn to that. It is really good filmmaking. I rewatched T1 and T2 like 2 or 3 years ago. They absolutely held up to what my memory of them as a kid was. There's just really good filmmaking. This is the character that like Arnold Schwarzenegger was born to play. I mean, like not that much dialogue, just be intimidating as fuck, and he is. So it's my number 2.
See, I hold these movies to such a high regard, and I was like nervous talking about them. It's how much I love them. Like I want to get my point across and it like be meaningful and everything. But you said what I wanted to say so fucking perfectly. That's my number 2. Your number 3 is Aliens.
Yeah.
This is a mix from earlier.
Right.
Aliens is a really good movie to me.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of his signatures of just his filmmaking around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with T2, you see it in T2, you don't see it in T1. But like the hints of comedy to show these are real fucking people.
Yeah.
In a credible situation. In a
Wittingly?
yeah, whatever.
I guess that's what you're trying to say.
No, they're in something that not everyone's going to experience in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to add that little bit of comedy to let the audience relate to them and know these are real people and grow investment from that.
Yeah, I would say they're in
great.
something that no one is going to experience in their life.
Bro, you never know, dog.
That's true.
40 years from now. But it's like, I don't know. For me, after watching Titanic, I was just like, I see myself watching Titanic more than I do Aliens. Even though it's very good. It's also a world that was already built.
Right.
That he just got, alright, I can do this, I can do this, I can take this here. He made the perfect sequel. Because you always want to go bigger and better.
Yeah.
So, like, kudos for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a shame what both of those franchises we just talked about turned into. That's what happens when you give up creative control, though.
Aliens
for the most part. But, yeah. So, Titanic. Wait. So when did you watch Titanic?
I didn't think I was going to care for it too much, so I started it Thursday.
Okay, so like this week,
with it Friday, yeah.
Okay, and that was the first time you've ever seen it.
Yes, Sunday.
Okay, so like, I've seen Titanic my entire life. Essentially, well, not my. You know, I was little when it came out, right? I don't think I saw it in theaters, because. What year did it come out? 97. Yeah, so 7-year-old me
Didn't get not titty.
Not super interested in Titanic.
It's only one titty.
That's true. But now, as I got older, my aunt had the
double VHS.
Yeah, because it was such a long movie, you had to put it on 2 VHSs. And like, so, but like, even that is just like another like fond, like, this movie has 2 VHSs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's It was just cool as a kid.
It felt like I was watching something special with Titanic.
Yeah, but yeah, I the amount of times that I tried to pause it on the titty is insane as I got older.
It's a good titty.
But back then it sucked because if you paused a VHS, then you got like these fuzzy lines across the screen, and like so, but they were always in different spots. So you'd have to like pause it and rewind it until you got like a spot where the lines weren't over the titty. But like it is an excellent movie. Like yeah, even outside it, like as an adult having rewatched Titanic, it's a very good movie. I've just seen it so much and heard about Titanic so much, or Titanic, if you will.
I thought you were going to say it's an excellent titty.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's pretty
Like,
cool.
it is, like,
Yeah, it's decent.
Good ENC, nipple circumference and everything.
Right, so,
But when you
Yikes.
said it, like, that's where my mind would have went, but you are you, and you
right.
talked about the titty and
Yeah.
left the titty.
However, Aliens, I have not watched that much. So, like, I have, like, a little bit of Titanic burnout.
That's fair.
Aliens is fine. Like, it's a good movie. And I just wanted to put it over Titanic, and it's definitely better to me than Avatar. So, that's why it's my number 3.
Fair.
And I don't really have a long, in-depth spiel on what is good or bad about Aliens. That's just why it landed
It's all
where
good.
it landed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
He does action adventure better than any other director, probably.
Spielberg might have something to say about that. But,
Ooh, yeah, because he's more of an action than adventure.
yeah.
Action movie. I'll say that. But T2, number 1 for both of us.
Yeah.
One of the greatest films ever made of all time. And I saw this perfectly. I was young. I don't know dick about no fucking trailers or anything like that. I watched Terminator.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's a bad guy. I watched Terminator 2. The bad guy's coming to kill this little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a little kid. He's cool because he's on a dirt bike. So as a kid, I automatically love John Connor.
Right.
And he's like a thieving little asshole too. So I love John Connor off rip. And then this nice policeman. That's also coming to save him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plot twist: policeman is a T-1000,
Yeah.
and the T-800 Schwarzenegger. Come with me if you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
He saves the little fucker. So I watched this perfectly, and I was fucking glued to the screen ever since then. And because of that experience, watching those 2 movies back to back, I've watched everything Schwarzenegger has done, or at least tried to. I watched the movie Hercules in New York where he throws a bear across Central Park. This movie franchise made him one of my favorite actors and like a real life superhero on screen growing up because he is a real person. At that time, he was the governor of California, so it was a little weird, but he is a real person.
Yeah.
And just like watching it then and loving it and growing up and watching it now and having such a different experience and the father-son relationship and Lionel Hamilton, her role in all of this, and seeing more of her inside her shoes of like, oh, he's cool. Like, say this cool line, you know?
Yeah.
Talk to the hand or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah.
I think that's the third one, but so much layers and depths to that movie franchise and to this movie specifically. And again, the perfect sequel. You go bigger and badder than the first.
Yeah.
And he nailed it perfectly.
Yeah. And that's what put it above the first one for me. I mean, like, the idea of just flipping the script like that and being like, not only is he the good guy now, but there's like actually this in this world that I have created a completely like we explain that, you know, it's not like some hokey stupid. It's not even like they're he had a bug in his system, so this one's good. It's like the future people like
took one and like,
reworked him and like, you know, and then sent him back. So like the way he bounced, like time travel is like real touchy in movies. Sometimes it's done really, really well. Sometimes it is not done well at all. But they don't go into like they don't feel a need to go in depth about explaining how like time continuums and time loops work. It's just it is just what it is. Like we send this guy back so that this future doesn't happen.
There's a bigger fish on our plate.
Yeah, right. And so the way he flips the script and explains it well, and the way that like Arnold's Terminator fits so well into that good guy role, just as well as he fit into the bad guy role in the first one. And then like you know, for the time, like, yeah, the CGI doesn't age well, whatever. Like, I mean, they did
I
what...
think it does.
I don't think so, but, like...
Well, I got that 4K, and we'll find out.
But, you know, for the time, it was, like, as good as you could get, because James Cameron does not skimp on the budget for his movies. And so, like, as a kid, the first time you saw, like, the T-1000, like, fucking melt, or just, like, turn his arm into, like, this freaking massive blade and just skewer someone with it, like, that was so cool. Like, and it was innovative, and, like, I'd just never seen anything like that before. And that's why it's my number one.
I just had deja vu. That was weird. Of all things I got deja vu about is this. But, greatest action movie of all time, no debating. Not my personal favorite, it is what it is. It's the greatest action movie of all time. But that was our list. Put your top 5 in the bottom. In the comment section down below. Scroll like, hit the like button, share the video. And subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.